Alabama. Boys.
What do we do this time, Bruce? Look, it's one thing to be the number one show in the county. It's another thing to expect us to pick up the slack for these other crumb bums in the station, okay?
Guys, you wanted to be my cleanup hitters. You got your wish. You wanted to be my leaders. This is what leaders do. They lead by example. You have to run ads for the other shows on the station. The other shows run your ads every single day of the week.
And they should run them more, to be honest.
Yeah, Bruce, we lead by putting out the best product we're capable of. You can't teach talent, and these no-talent ass clowns ain't got it.
I just need you guys to go easy on the new guy, Mark, okay?
Bruce, he's a loser.
He's a dullard.
A simpleton.
An ignoramus.
All right, guys, look. I get it. He's not the most excitable guy out there, but he's part of the Quill family now, and you need to start treating him as such.
Almost every family member I've ever been close to doesn't speak to me anymore, so I think I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, and we've got other ads paying good money for our primetime spot. I mean, hell, we haven't even discussed who's going to read the Dude You're Fine ad.
Yeah, the last thing we need is the whole town thinking that our beans don't work.
Just have the kid do it. I don't care.
What?
Look, you guys have been doing this show coming up on 20 years together, all right? We have this conversation every year. It's time to be a team player.
Well, in 20 years, we'll still be having this conversation if we have to keep telling you how to do your job.
Damn it, Paul. Stop being an asswipe for like 5 seconds, okay?
I don't get it, Bruce. Is this because I slept with your sister, or is it because I didn't call her back?
I'm sorry, you did what?
Can you not hear? I didn't call her back. I'm sorry. She was boring.
Just start the show. I've got a phone call to make.
All right. Thanks for the advice, Bruce.
You know, he looks mad for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I do not want to read that ad.
Shut up, Brady. You're reading it.
Yeah, you heard the boss. We're kicking off the show with it.
Men, do you struggle in the bedroom like I do? Constantly getting berated by your partner for the lack of your performance. You are not alone, and millions of other men, just like you and I, are able to do something about it. Introducing the newest line of testosterone boosters by Dude You're Fine. You will no longer need to be embarrassed by your erectile dysfunction. Dude You're Fine has perfected the ingredients to let me be the master of the bedroom. And if you don't believe me, you can get free samples yourself just by going to dudeyourfine.com and entering the code THEINTERN. Or you can see them in store off Granger next to the new Dollar General. Tell them I sent you.
Welcome to the First Down with your host, Dwayne and Paul Wayne on QWIL, The Quill.
Welcome. You are listening to the number one show in W.H. Nelson County. It is the First Down. I am Dwayne Applebottom.
I'm Paul Wayne T.
And buckle up because we are in for a ride today here on your number one sports talk station, QWIL, The Quill.
You know, nothing can stop me today, Dwayne. I am on cloud nine.
we both are, of course, because we are coming off this Friday's win over there in Muntsville, where the Porcupines beat the Naturals 20-10.
What a game, I gotta say.
Yeah, let's dive into it. Now, where do you want to start, partner?
I want to start up top with the team dang near putting a tear in my eye during the pregame warm-ups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I know where this is going.
Dwayne, there are certain parts in a season where it's nut-cutting time.
Now, hey, be careful with your words there, Paul.
Well, in this case, it was nut-grabbing time. As the Paultom Porcupines football team, in a show of protest, unity, and camaraderie, grabbed their unmentionables towards the ref pregame to get a 15-yard penalty for the game for their fallen comrade Rodd Bonzalez.
Be still my beating heart. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, and I think that team bonding activity gave them the confidence and the swagger to propel this team to victory. You know, and hats off to head coach Darryl Strong for coming up with that idea. I got a feeling we're going to be talking about this win down at the Grandpaps, Flapjacks, and Hotcakes Diner for years to come.
Preach on, brother. Preach on. You know, maybe Dirty Dutch Sanders was onto something, giving our boys in purple and brown that extra motivation to take down those big Naturals in Muntsville.
You know, I'd take that suggestion into account if it didn't involve giving credit to mine principles.
Yeah, duly noted, sir. But how about we get down to brass tacks and talk about that game again? Now, What'd you think about the offense, Paul Wayne?
Well, I have to admit, I was nervous for our offense today, having to play Derek the Dud Chud at quarterback with Rodd Bonzalez suspended last week. But, he did what he needed to do.
Yeah, I think that he played well enough that we're going to drop the Dud moniker for the time being.
Yeah, he fills in and plays the role of bus driver like that might be his future profession one day. And maybe someday he becomes Derek, my Bud Chud.
Agreed, Paul Wayne. Agreed. It's not the best performance by a quarterback, but with hashtag Johnson behind him and Flug Yortson and Elijah Renchel blocking the snot out of those big naturals over there in Muntsville, I thought Chud did a fantastic job making that pitch out of our wishbone, and, he got the job done.
Yeah, the O-line did a fantastic job Friday night, and District is in the bag if these boys can keep this up.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of my glory days where they called us the Island of Misfit Boys. We weren't the biggest, we weren't the brightest, but we loved blocking the snot out of the men in front of us in the trenches. And that's what these boys are starting to remind me of.
And that's just the offense. That defense is something else this year, is it not?
Yeah, it might be a little too soon to say it, but they're really starting to remind me of the doom and gloom defense we had back in '88.
Woo, yeah, my daddy still talks about how that team wrecked shop.
Yeah, this defensive line put up a performance for the ages, racking up 7 sacks and holding Muntsville to 169 yards of total offense. Aaron Chud, the captain of the D-line, and brother of quarterback Derek Chud, had his best performances of his career, racking up 4 sacks and a couple more tackles for losses.
Was that Paul Walker playing 2 positions out there? Because those boys were too Chud, too furious.
Of course, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention yet again Aiden McMurray was the lone defect of the defense today, giving up yet another long touchdown.
Yeah, his brother Caden is en route to being named All-State and could be District Player of the Year, but one can only mask so much of his brother's deficiencies.
Yeah, I hear there's possible talk of a boycott of their dad's shop over at McMurray Muffler, and I'm not one to advocate killing off any small business, but I'm starting to get on board with taking my business to Napa.
Ooh, them's fighting words, Paul. But, of course, I know his backup, Benny San Antonio, has a broken wrist, and you're telling me he can't stay in front of his man for 5 seconds at a time without risking further injury to that limp wrist?
Yeah, I completely agree. We aren't asking you to tackle out there. We're asking you to cover. You're a big boy. Do your job.
Yeah, exactly. But, all in all, we got the win, and I got to tell you, having Penelope run out there with the team these past couple weeks has really been adding to their team spirit, I say.
Praise be Penelope, as the kids would say.
Praise be, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I just want to give a special shout-out to the band for playing Genuine's Pony after every first down, and the student section for pelvic thrusting after every first down, and what I believe the kids are calling the hot rod, in response to starting quarterbacks Rodd Bonzalez' bogus suspension for the last Friday night's game.
Yeah, the kids have been going through a lot this year after that loss to North Lake Merrill. The Gomer kidnapping, too, after that, and, now this suspension. That's a lot. These kids have handled this adversity with such class and such grace this season.
Amen, brother. If this group of prickles is soon to be going out in the real world, then I do believe the children are our future.
And just to clarify, that was not a curse word, okay? So FCC, you get on out of here. But as most people in the town know, a group of porcupines is called a prickle, right? So just getting that out there, just so you're in the know. The more you know, right? Right, Paul Wayne? Okay. All right, folks, that does it for the first segment of the First Down. Whenever we come back, we're going to get to callers on the Opine Line, so y'all hold on tight. We'll be right back.
If you like hot takes and even hotter opinions, then tune in to Marty Mundane's Hodgepodge of Hot Takes.
Hi, folks. I'm Marty Mundane.
He takes no guff and takes no prisoners. You won't believe what's gonna come out of his mouth next.
I've said it my whole life. Defense wins championships. Of course, you also need a good offense that knows how to execute.
Whoa, dude. Lay off the heat, or I'm gonna call the burn unit.
Everyone knows that these boys got to take it one game at a time. Of course, you also got to stand back and look at the big picture.
This guy says what's on his mind and doesn't care what you think.
I'm just going to say it. I don't think pineapple belongs on pizza, unless of course you like pineapple.
So join us Monday through Friday, 5 days a week on QWIL The Quill for the Marty Mundane Hodgepodge of Hot Takes, following the First Down with Dwayne and Paul Wayne.
We don't get too opinionated around here.
Fire up those phones. It's time for the Opine Line with Dwayne and Paul Wayne.
We are back, folks, coming to you live on QWIL The Quill. We are getting ready to take callers on the Opine Line, sponsored by McMurray Mufflers. McMurray Mufflers, you can hear us coming a mile away.
Yeah, you better enjoy that advertisement while you still can, McMurray, because I'm starting to get a little nauseous when I hear that name.
You're preaching to the choir there, buddy. Paul and I are going to be scouting the JV game this Thursday, looking for Aiden McMurray's replacement and praying to the football gods and searching for an answer.
And I'll be meeting Reverend Ty Renschel before the game, looking for his blessing. But how about we take some calls there, Dwayne?
Yeah, you read my mind there, partner. The lights are done lit up full on the Opine Line, so let's get that going here. Caller number 1, Brent. Brent, really?
What? It's Alan.
All right. Alan from Paultom. Let's get this over with.
What a dork.
What was that?
Alan, what's your opine?
Hey, guys. I just wanted to call in and tell you and all the listeners I'm sorry. You were really hard on the boys when they needed a little discipline. You were there for them in their time of need when Gomer 5 was kidnapped, and you've helped unify this team through the tough times of Rodd Bonzalez' suspension. Maybe I was being a little too critical after the first game, but like everything you said, it's turning to gold right now, and I'd like to go get a lottery ticket with you boys, and we'll go see if things are turning the right way for Purple and Brown. Anyways, my wife and I were wondering if you guys wanted some free home-cooked dinner from me and my missus.
Okay, and gone. That call's dropped, yeah? Good. All right. That dude isn't the biggest dweeb in Paultom.
Is my name Ray Scott, the greatest bass angler of all time? Because that boy is fishing for compliments.
Yeah, Al, you need some lip balm for those chapped lips? Huh? Jeez. All right. And folks, let us be clear. We know how great we are, all right? We know how most of you out there are the sheep who need to be led to the promised land, and we're doing our best to lead you there, all right? But our butts are for sitting, not for kissing.
Yeah, and despite all my misdeeds and misfortunes, I am a shepherd. There's a reason this station still pays me top dollars, There's a reason I make enough to be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment and cover an alimony payment without having to get a second job, There's a reason I can sometimes afford middle-shelf liquor at Senior O'Grady's. And that's because we're the best Paultom has to offer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I bet he's never even been divorced.
Yeah.
No, I have.
Brentley, cut the damn call. Christ almighty. It's like I'm playing cards with my brother's kids or something. Jeez. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do that. Who's next, kid?
Next we have Kat.
That better not be who I think it is. Kat, what's your opine?
Hey, Dwayne. Hey, Paul Wayne.
Now, Bart, how many times are we going to tell you to screen these calls?
It's Brett, and she said her name was Kat Winkler. Oh.
Paul, I guess I'm going to have to tell my lawyer, Rube Meehouse, you're in enough financial stability now to pay me what you agreed to when we got divorced the second time.
Now, Kathy, I know you're a little dense in the head with that marina life probably fogging your brain, but I said I can afford to pay alimony, not alimonies, and you're second in line. My other ex-wife at least has the decency to not bother me when I'm at work.
Your luck will run out soon enough, Paul Wayne, and so will the Porcupine.
All right, Kathy. Now, I'll let you dress down and demean Paul Wayne all day long, but if you start ragging on the Pines like that, well, you got another thing coming, Missy.
Well, darling, let me tell you something. It's all sunshine and rainbows over here at the marina and boat.
Oh, really? Because last time I heard, you were seen face down after your 5th Irish marg bomb at Senior O'Grady's Irish Cantina.
Rumors and hearsay, Dwayne. You know Tag likes to celebrate, and we've been doing a whole lot of that lately. Because ain't no one reading that childish Paulson publication anyhow.
All right. Now, you know PMZ is a respectable magazine that always does their due diligence.
Yeah, Kathy, is there a reason you called up other than to harsh on our good times?
I just came by to put you boys in your place and remind you that while your record is fine now, good times don't last forever. And our boys in Boat are on their way to another undefeated season, an 8th straight district title.
Now, I'll have you know, Miss Harwood of the Night, that your boys from Boat managed to beat the Muntsville Naturals by only a field goal, whereas we just beat them by 10, and that's with our backup quarterback.
Everyone knows it was only that close because we missed 3 field goals. But that was before Trace Leches. From the Unos transferred from the Twin Springs to the Boat Tuggers. Now, finally, we got a real kicker for a real team.
Yeah, we heard that news, okay? And don't think that we aren't protesting that transfer allowance to the UIL as we speak. I mean, there's something fishy going on there, and we aren't talking about the chummy waters out there in Boat.
You know, they say he's an automatic once that offense crosses the 50s. But he may only see PATs. After all, QB Bubba, the Slim Jim Jimpson, is a shoo-in for Conference Player of the Year.
Now, Kathy, don't you go saying anything you're going to regret here.
And ain't no way Caden or Aiden McMurray and the Porcupines defense are going to be able to stop us running that exclusive prevent defense.
All right, drop the call. That
Enough of
is
that.
ridiculous.
Absolutely not. The exclusive prevent defense slander stops here. All right? Everyone north of the Rio Grande knows that prevent defense is a Paultom institution. And that doesn't even get to our defensive coordinator and your daddy, Mr. Cyrus Pepin-R Step Pepperfield. That man's won 4 state titles and been a part of this coaching staff since these kids were tucked away in their daddy's loins. It's one thing to bash our Pines, but to bash your own flesh and kin? Well, you got another thing coming, Missy. Bert, you better not let her through the rest of the year. Kathy, you are banned from the Opine Line for the rest of the season.
You've been banned.
I've never even had to do that before.
What a little hussy she is.
A floozy.
Queen Cersei.
All right. I think we still got time for one more caller. Looks like it's Helga. Helga on line 1. What's your opine?
Oh, no.
Hello, Paul Wayne. It is me. I heard you have the monies for one alimony payment. Shall I expect a check, or shall I send Victor up there for the monies?
Oh, I think that's going to do it for the Opine Line this week. Man, we're here to talk football, not dilly-dally into people's personal lives.
All righty then, Paul Wayne. Well, damn it. I guess that means Alan wins this week's Opine Line Caller of the Week by default, huh?
Yeah.
Damn. All right, well, we again adhere to our strict no boat caller wins the Opine Line segment of the week this week, so I guess
And
that's there you go.
and no ex-wives ever win either.
That's right, that's right. You know what? I'm also going to give Alan the dadgum moment of the week here, too.
Dadgum.
So congrats, Alan. Hope you're happy. All right, well, we'll be back after the break with former state title-winning quarterback Todd Bonzales to get his thoughts on his son's suspension. So y'all stick around. We'll be right back.
Hunting season's here, folks, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are packing up the truck to head out to the deer lease and bag yourself a nice 12-point buck. But let me ask you something. After you get your back straps, your jerky, and your sausages, what are you going to do with the head and the hide? Well, I'll tell you, why don't you bring it on down to our good friends at Stuff and Save Discount Taxidermy. They've got all sorts of mounts and display options that will have your friends and neighbors marveling at your hunting skills. And hey, even if you didn't drop a big buck this year, don't let that stop you from convincing people you did. Their signature Buy a Buck program lets you choose from their extensive selection of previously owned, gently used heads and hides. I have one myself, and folks, it looks great. And the best part is, with each head you buy, you get a custom deer leg gun rack for free. That's right, they're practically trotting out the store, folks, so get them while you can. So go on out and see them today over off on Loop 4 by the rodeo arena. They stuff, you save. That's the Stuff and Save guarantee. And tell them Dwayne sent you.
You're listening to The First Down with Dwayne and Paul Wayne on QWIL, The Quill.
Welcome back to The First Down with Dwayne and Paul Wayne here on QWIL The Quill. Now, it is an honor today for us and for everyone out there in Pine Nation as we welcome the 2-time state title-winning QB and father of Paultom's unjustly suspended quarterback, Rodd Bonzalez. Let's please give a porcupine welcome to Todd Bonzales.
Hey, boys. Thanks for having me on.
You know, Todd, not only was it an honor watching you play, it's an even bigger honor to call you a friend.
Well, the pleasure's all mine. I listen to you guys every day. Never miss an episode of the Dane and Wayne Show.
It's actually the Dwayne.
Hey, don't interrupt us when we're talking to greatness here, Bert. Please. Thank you. Lordy. Now, Todd, sorry about that. We love talking about the glory days here, and we wanted to remind the audience that you were the first QB to win state in both Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah, that's right there, Dane. I won a 6A state championship in Oklahoma and felt there was nothing else to accomplish in that state. So it was an honor when I drove down to Paultom in a brand-new, top-of-the-line pickup truck gifted to me from the fine folks over at Don's dealership. Honestly, it was like being called up to the majors when the legendary Dandy Sandy Chokerton told me I was 4A Texas high school material. Felt as good as it feels sitting here in these Wrangling jeans.
Did Did you say Wrangling jeans?
That's right, Wayne Brady. I was born a wrangling man just like my daddy. They come in all shapes and sizes, from their husky cut for your little porkers to their signature skull long-cut jeans. Wrangling, the banquet jean.
Todd, you you got a little payola thing going on here, or what's going on?
Wayne, I'm offended you would ask me that. If you recall, you guys asked me to be on this show. I'm just here to talk about this mess of a suspension caused by the dishonorable Dirty Dutch Sanders. After that suspension, I'm not sure my friendship with him could be repaired. Speaking of repairs, you'd be insane if you didn't call Hivax HVACs the #1 company in Paultom when it comes to air conditioning and heating repairs.
All right, Todd, you promised you wouldn't do this before the interview. Now, I know you're an advertising man, but this is our show, all right? Now, we wanted to ask you about your thoughts of your son's suspension and how the whole family is handling the situation. So why don't you talk about that?
All right. Well, Dane, after praying it over with the Reverend Tyrential, eating a steak at Tate's T-Bones, and topping it off with a phosphate at Ned Startleby's, I decided to sleep on it. On my state-of-the-art mattress from Mattress Mat, located right next to Bonzales Box Springs.
All right, Todd. Even for you, I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Speaking of stretch, if you need to get your stretch on, may I ask you to come on down to Bonzales Box Springs, where we got the biggest box springs in town. And this month, we got our Bonzales Box Springs Bonanza sale going on, where we're offering our buy one box spring and get one of equal or lesser value for 8% off. Bonzales Box Springs, the hardest box springs in town, I guarantee you. Rated on by the BBB Better Box Spring Bureau.
All right, I see this is going nowhere, so thank you, Todd, for your nuggets of wisdom.
Speaking of nuggets, the best nuggets in
Bryce,
town.
cut his mic, please. Thank you. Lordy. All right. That'll do it for us, folks. I think that's gonna be it. So we're looking forward to this Friday as the Porcupine start the first leg of the Lugerville Cougars and Cougarville Lugers Double Dutch. Paultom takes on the Lugerville Cougars this Friday at the Den as the Pines try to make it 3-0 in district play.
Yeah, and just a reminder for everyone out there, we will be hosting a pregame party in the parking lot, and it is Spirits Week. So bring your favorite spirit out there, and we'll have Brett pour you a drink.
I don't think I'm...
All right, can it, Poindexter. Lordy. All right, everyone knows Paultom's Den is the only high school stadium in the UIL that you can sell and drink alcohol in. It's being grandfathered in because of that old clause from the 30s, right? So y'all come on out to the tailgate and bring your favorite spirit. Bring your gin, bring your rum, bring your brandy. I mean, I'm more of a whiskey man myself, so if you have some of that, bring it on out. I'll drink it, hell. We're looking to stay undefeated in district this season, so we'll see if we can make it happen this week, Paul Wayne, right? Well, that does it for us here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dwayne Applebottom.
I'm Paul Wayne T.
Go Pines.
The official broadcast partner of Paultom City Consolidated Athletics, QWIL, The Quill.